Okay, let's get started. We have 76 registrants for this event, and everyone that has registered will get the recording. We have about 30 minutes here to go through this report. My name is Steve Kuntz. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Velocity View and our Safety Assist solution. We decided to do this project, this 10 biggest questions in construction safety, as a way for us to better understand safety issues in the field. And what that will do for us is help us focus on new features in our product, Safety Assist, that can help alleviate some of these issues in the field. What we're going to do is go through this report. It's basically a walkthrough. You'll get the report, which means you'll be able to then study it in more depth. I would appreciate anyone who does do that to get back with me either by email. I'm at steve@velocityview.com or through my LinkedIn responses. So let's get on with this and let's get started. So this is how it's organized in the report. So we have a basic table of contents. The report is based upon 400 safety professionals who responded to these 10 different questions that we have. And again, we think that we've created a pretty good organization of the report. Some of the biggest takeaways we had is, and I'll just read the top line: safety programs aren't failing because they don't exist. They're failing because they're not executed consistently. This was a big summary sentence or two sentences that we took away from all of these items. The three biggest takeaways we had outside of that are safety breakdowns are driven by behavior and not process, and culture and accountability outweigh tools and budget, and most organizations are still managing safety reactively. So again, if as you go through this report, you see things that you agree with, or if they see things that you would like to weigh in on differently, please respond to me through LinkedIn or through my email. Now, how was this report built? We thought it would be good for you guys to know how it was built. Again, we had 400 plus responses, 10 questions. We started this project in August of last year. We concluded it in March of this year. We have been sending out newsletters focused on each of the individual questions. If you're signed up for the newsletter, then you have seen 3 or 4 of these already. And the audience was safety managers and directors, United States. We use my LinkedIn network, which is around 7,800 people, to ask these polls to. And what we measured was reporting behavior and safety culture, accountability, supervision and leadership impact, incident prevention, early warning signs, alignment across teams and contractors. So these questions that we're going to look through in a somewhat quick fashion were all based upon questions that would result from this particular methodology. So from a poll result point of view, there are 10 questions, and I'm just going to go through them and identify what it is. I would hope that you would take a look at the report and read through the key insights, what that means and where the gaps exist, and again, offer me any insights that you have that agree or disagree with this report. But what's the biggest cultural challenge to consistent site safety? The biggest item was we've always done it this way. So it was kind of an interesting result on that. The next question was, what's the biggest reason safety plans aren't followed? This one had a pretty large percentage of respondents saying it's lack of accountability. We found that to be kind of interesting as well. Going through the next one. What usually triggers a safety program review? Major incident. And we kind of expected that, but it wasn't good to see, but it's what It's what happens. Also, obviously, the second biggest one was a scheduled audit. The fourth question was, where does the GC and subcontractor to safety alignment break down? This one was interesting. Lack of consistent supervision. So, in other words, the subcontractors may not be consistently supervising the way the GC wants, or vice versa. So that is, I thought, a really good, interesting takeaway. It helps us in terms of our solution, creating an environment of more consistency. The fifth question, what causes most fall-related incidents? Um, Rushed work and bad habits, we did kind of expect that, but bad supervision and supervisory enforcement was also something that we didn't expect. And again, it's a learning type opportunity for us. What's the biggest barrier to improving site safety? Leadership prioritization. So that I don't know if we really expected that. We think these questions were. I thought maybe the worker mindset might be a little bit higher, but leadership prioritization seemed to be what was really driving this. When do safety standards start to slip? Nearing project deadline, and we did expect that. It'd be interesting if someone would comment on that today or after this webinar. What breaks safety culture fastest on a job site? We've got two areas here that, or actually three areas here that tied. We have production pressure, which we kind of talked about a minute ago. Inconsistent supervisors, we talked about that. And no follow through after issues. That we found to be more of maybe a corrective action issue, which we have incorporated into our product. But those are three interesting items that seem to have tied on this, what breaks the safety culture fastest. 9, what warning signs is most often ignored before an incident? And it's lack of hazard recognition. And we all know the importance of the JSA or PTP, where you either eliminate or control the hazard. But it's interesting that that's very, very high. So that means there needs to be a lot of work in that area. Again, agree or disagree, let me know. And then the 10th one, what's the biggest reason workers don't report safety concerns? We did kind of expect this: peer pressure or culture, fear of retaliation, even though in the 10 years I've been doing this, that, in my opinion, is reduced quite a bit from the companies. They are getting away from that. It was higher when I first started looking at this, but it was interesting to get that anyway, what it was. So before I get into this, I'm going to exit out of the big screen here and see if there's been any comments. No. Okay, so let me go back into it. And let me see here. Safety plans exist, but execution breaks down. These are the big cross-poll insights. And it's 72% was lack of accountability, as we decided. This is a accumulation of all of the questions that we asked. So 58%, so it's not going to equal 100. 58% cited rushed work, bad habits, and 30% cited supervision when asked what causes the incident. Now, I was planning on doing a poll, and I'm not sure we have enough people here to do that, but let's try it anyway. We'll do the first poll, and you go into your comment box and either put a 1 or a 2, and it'll register as a yes or a no. Let's just see if the poll is worthwhile doing. I'll start the show. Okay. It looks like the poll, we don't have enough people on the webinar to correctly do this poll. So I will reset that and and hide it. So we won't do any more polls, but I will go back to going through the insights for those who will be listening to this recording. Number two, culture determines whether safety happens. I think we all know the safety culture is extremely important to help the safety managers and the supervisors keep a safe work site. They cite peer pressure. Um, when as the 30% fear when asked why workers don't report, we talked about that. I think that's a percentage that is going down year after year. Um, so we've always done it this way. We have heard that quite a bit. I've seen that a lot on sites that I visit. Uh, Number three, inconsistency across teams and time drives risk. 30% cited inconsistent supervisors. We talked about that. A third, lack of follow through when asked. We talked about the corrective action. And that was something that came out quite a bit, actually, that if no one is going to follow up on the issues, then the issues no longer are important. And 45% pointed to a lack of consistency in supervision and schedule pressures. And then the fourth uh, cross-poll insight was pressure exposes weakness in safety. Um, Standards slip near deadlines. We know that happens. Um, when supervision is low, there is a weakness in safety. So the supervision part of it is extremely important. Cited production pressure as a top factor. Um, Safety systems will fail when they can't hold up under real world pressure. So that was some pretty interesting insights. Looks like we have had a few people register for the poll. So let me go and since I've gone through these and we do have some people involved with this, I'll go through the next poll. We'll stop the poll on this one. So we had 6 people say that they agree with the top 3 reasons for safety plan execution breakdown. Thank you very much for participating. I'll start the next poll, which is on insight number 2. Do you agree that culture determines whether safety happens? And show the poll, and let's see what comes up with there. Give it a few seconds. I'll go to the next poll and again see if we can get some participants. Actually, I think I need to stop this one. So I'll give it another 10 seconds or so to see if someone would respond to this poll. Go to the third one. Oh, again, okay, so on the second one, there was again 100% of the 6 people participating that they do agree the culture determines whether safety happens. I will then go to this one. Do you agree that inconsistency across teams and time drives risk? Give this another 30 seconds. I can see people responding. Four, I'll resume for a little bit since we are 6 people involved. But 4 said yes. Okay. Not any no's yet. So let's go on to the last poll. Do you agree that pressure exposes weakness in safety? Let's see what happens there. Stop that poll, see what happens. We had 1 yes, so I'll resume it. This is the last poll, by the way. A few seconds. We have some no's on this one. So that's very, very interesting that we have 2 no's on, do you agree that pressure exposes weakness in safety? I'm going to hide the poll now. We'll just look though. But those that have said no, if you could put a comment in there on why you thought no, Jake and Andrew, that will help us a little bit understand your thoughts on that particular question. Okay. See, it exposes its schedule. Jake is saying it exposes that schedule pressure is always the risk. Okay. Thank you, Jake. I appreciate that. Andrew, do you have any thoughts on why you voted no? Okay. Well, anyway, thank you both for giving us some feedback on that. If Andrew, before we close, you want to make a comment on why you chose no for that question, I would appreciate it, or you could reach out to me on LinkedIn and let me know why you asked that. You may get a question from me on that as well, that you, I think I noted that, but I'll probably reach back to you to find out why you thought differently on that particular question. So getting back to this then, we'll move on to closing this particular, here it is. Oh, so Andrew feels that he wouldn't consider low supervision as a pressure weakness. Interesting comment. Andrew, I may reach out to you and see if you would like to talk with me about that a little further. Same with you, Jake. I really do want to understand your thoughts on this to help us really understand the results of this report. So again, thank you very much, both of you, for participating and offering your opinions on this. So in closing this thing out, I wanted to thank everybody who participated, especially those who took the time to do this today. I had a number of people reach out to me this morning saying that they're not going to be able to be here because of travel. One unfortunate situation where there was an incident that caused someone else not to attend. Hopefully everything's fine with that. What I would encourage you is, if you like this report and you feel that some of the things that we are doing here at Safety Assist are good information for you, please do a favor, and when you get the report, these buttons at the bottom are live, so you can subscribe to our newsletter. Again, we have like over 1,000 subscribers to our newsletter. Request a demo to see how Safety Assist handles some of these issues, and maybe during the demo offer us suggestions on improving it. And then you can follow us on LinkedIn. Our Safety Assist site on LinkedIn has around 2,500 plus followers, and we get a lot of information back on that particular site that helps us quite a bit with our solution. So having said all that, thank you very much for attending. I really appreciate it. I look forward to following up with you all on your views of the report. Some of you have already received the report. I have a number of people asking me for the report before the webinar, possibly because they couldn't make it. So expect us to follow up to see your thoughts on the report. And I want to wish you all a good, safe rest of the day. So take care. And does anyone have any last comments? I'll wait like 30 seconds before I sign off. Okay. All right. Take care, everybody. Be safe. Bye-bye.